Ladies and gentlemen, ready for an epic adventure? Xiao and Peter, with their mentor, embark on a thrilling journey. The host drew the mentor, but Peter bravely volunteered to compete, becoming a tribute without even saying goodbye to his family. After arriving in the capital, the stylist designed the coolest outfits for them, setting the stage ablaze at the openings. Xiao and Peter dazzled the crowd in their flaming outfits, then zipped over to their new training base time to show off their skills. Their opponents aren't just rookies, they are past Hunger Games champions. To survive, they'll need to find some allies, but those opponents looked like they just stepped out of a horror movie. A couple called Xiao and surprise, they're scientists. They taught Xiao to detect electromagnetic fields, shocking an electromagnetic barrier in front of the judges' table. Xiao guessed it was her work from last year. Then she met the white-haired Magnus, a super cool deaf champion. Talk about a legend. Xiao learned to make fish hooks from Magnus, and in return, taught her some archery skills through mentorship. In the training room, Xiao was a bow queen, moving so gracefully it made competitors dizzy. They all wanted to team up with her. Xiao didn't want to go against familiar friends, so she and Peter agreed not to ally with anyone else. What a wise strategy. During the final skills assessment, Peter drew an amazing portrait of Xiao that triggered a volcanic eruption of emotions in her. The dumbest chess ball last year's designer's name Xiao realized shed stirred the hornet's nest, challenging the current one. The next day, the Hunger Games officially began, and every contestant had nano trackers implanted. Are you ready for this? Xiao said an emotional goodbye to her stylist, knowing her success relied on their help. But expectedly, soldiers suddenly barged in. Watching her friend get killed was heartbreaking. The creator of the girl on fire was in deep trouble, a total tragedy. This was all the president's revenge on Xiao. As the elevator slowly ascended, Xiao entered the new room. The Hunger Games began. Weapons supply scattered. When countdown ended, Xiao dove in like a flying fish. She swam with all her might to shore, grabbing her beloved bow and arrow, and turned around to find, thank goodness, it's Nick. Nick won at the age of 14, making him the youngest victor in Hunger Games history. What a legend. Xiao and Nick quickly rescued Peter from the water, then charged into the woods with Magnus, forming an urgent alliance. Their top priority was to find fresh water, but Peter, swinging his machete, stumbled upon an electromagnetic barrier. Faced with the electromagnetic shock, Peter collapsed, and Xiao panicked, but thankfully Nick came to the rescue. Xiao decided to climb a tree for a safe route. She found the sky seemed magnetic, mind-blowing. As darkness fell, they searched for a place to rest, when suddenly the sky displayed the death list. Shockingly, 8 people had already their mentor sent supplies, and a special water tap astonishingly produced clear water right from a tree. How magical. After drinking, they were ready to rest, but suddenly heard the chimes signaling midnight. Xiao stayed outside to keep watch, oblivious as a nearby tree was struck by lightning. Suddenly, thick fog enveloped them. Curiously touching it, Xiao felt excruciating pain, her hand covered in blisters. She warned everyone to stay away from the spreading gas, but they all got burned. Magnus decided to sacrifice herself. The 3 fled desperately when the ground gave way, tumbling down the slope as toxic gas crept closer. In the nick of time, an invisible barrier blocked the gas, allowing the group to narrowly escape disaster. Xiao found clean water healed their corroded skin. In pain, they healed and then sought water, only to find mutations surrounding them. They hesitated, wanting to slowly backtrack to the beach, but the Mutts had no intention of letting them escape. Xiao took the lead and a battle with Mutts erupted. Faced with too many enemies, they retreated while fighting, cornering Peter. Just then, a disguised figure burst from a tree hole to block the Mutts' fatal strike, and they dragged the injured ally away. The disguised figure could have stayed hidden, so why risk it all for their rescue? It was puzzling. Suddenly, 3 more figures burst from the woods, the scientist couple and Joanna, who had just endured a fierce battle. The female scientist seemed shaken, mumbling away new dangers loomed ahead. Lightning struck again, in the same spot as yesterday, revealing the arena's bizarre design. Disaster strikes zones at every period, a brand new challenge. The ground spun violently as the designer attempted to disrupt their course, and everyone clung desperately to the ground to avoid falling. What a thrill. Finally, the designer ceased the spinning, and everyone breathed a sigh of relief, safe and sound. Moments later, Xiao heard her companions' voices in the woods, causing her heart to race. But upon closer inspection, those were the Mockingjays' calls, echoing her loved ones' voices all around as Xiao was devastated. Peter comforted Xiao, helping her calm down. They regrouped and prepared to move forward to face new challenges. Let's see how they will rise to the challenge ahead. As they reached the shore again, the dog suddenly hatched a capture plan. Will it succeed? Stay tuned. But little did they expect, Xiao and Joanna hadn't gotten far before a professional killer ambushed them. What a cliffhanger.